Hello to everyone and welcome on the YouTube channel School for All. So this is part 3 under computer network. So remember that we are answering June 25 question 5, and the question is fully under computer network, and this question contains so many concepts in the chapter computer network. That's why I've decided to make videos in different parts, because explaining all these concepts in one video, the thing will be very long. Good. So if you are following on this video, my advice is watch video number 1, then watch video number 2, so that at least you'll be sure that you are okay with the chapter computer network. But if you think that you want to manage just like that, it's okay. There's no problem. Now, so this is just a continuation. So the next question we are supposed to answer is Roman 2, question 5, Roman 2 of this June 25, because we are done with the other one in previous tutorial. Good. Now, so this Roman 2, there's a new concept I want to explain here that I did not explain in video number 1, nor video number 2. So let me just explain it here. This is what we call classes of IP address. So I've explained what the IP address is and things like that, so I'm not going to repeat myself here. So now, concerning classes of IP address, we have different classes. This one we call class A, this class B, this class C, and so on and so forth. But generally, advanced level plays the minimum you need to know class A, class B, and class C. Now, in my previous video, I've discussed about what we call the mask. And I told you that generally the mask is used to differentiate between the network part and the host part. The first information I want you to note is the mask of a class A is /8. The mask of a class B is /16. And the mask of a class C is /24. Good. Meaning that class C addresses have 24 bits for the network part, and how many bits for the host part? 8 bits, because if you do 32 minus 24, you have the remaining bit for the host part. Now, class B here simply means 16 bit is for the host, for the network part, and the rest of the 16 bit is for what? For the host part. Now, class A meaning /8 here means what? That the first 8 bit is for the host part, for the network part, sorry, and the rest is for the host part. So never forget that the marks here represent what? The number of bits for the network part. We said that in the first video. Good. So mask is not something new, but make sure you retain this, because in the exam, when it gives you something, when it gives you a class C address, they will never tell you that class C address, the network part is 24 bit. No. They assume that you know it already, and it's exactly what happened with this 25. They are assuming. So this information concerning classes of addresses is very important. Please never forget this. Good. Now, the next thing, and this becomes difficult when you don't know what is max, but thank God I've explained that in the first video. I'm still explaining it here. Now, so the next thing I want you to note is, for you to recognize a class A address, convert, because generally they will be giving you this address in this form, in the form of decimal number. So I'm just taking any number. Let me just take another one, 174.168.maybe 8.9. So generally this is how they're giving the IP addresses. Good. So for you to know if this address is a class A or class B or class C, you will take this first number here. Follow very well. You will take this first number, you will convert to binary. Now when you convert to binary, you have something in what? In 8 bits. Take note of things like that. Now, if the first bit of this first number starts with 0, it means that it is a class A address. As easy as that. But if the first 2 bits is starting with 10, it means that it is a class B address. But if the first 3 bits start with 110, it means that it is a class C address. As easy. You have different ways, in fact, to identify classes of addresses. So here, this is a technique I'm giving you people. Technique is clear. Take the first number that you have of your IP address, convert that in binary, 8 bits. You do so. If the first bit is starting with 0, it is a class A. If the first bit is not starting with 0, automatically it will start with either 10 or 110, automatically. So don't think that you have another case. No, you have this case. If you're not having this case, it simply means that you did a mistake when you were converting this number to binary. So if you don't have 0, you have 10. If the thing starts with 10 before the other bits, they just know that it's a class B address. If you start with 110, it's a class C address. Take note of things like that. And by the moment you know the class now, automatically you know the number of bits for the network part. Like here, if I convert and realize that it starts with 0, I know that it's class A. And I know that class A is what? /8, meaning that in this IP address, the network part is what? 8 bit. And the host part is the remaining. If I convert, I realize that it's a class B. It simply means that I know that class B is what? Slash 16. Meaning that the first 16 bit for the network and the last 16 for what? For the host. If you convert, you have something like this, means what? Slash 24. Meaning that the first 24, meaning that the first three numbers here, the first 24 are for the network, the rest is what? For the host. When I say first 24, I think people are understanding one number is 8. So 2 should be what? 16. Three numbers should be what? 24 bits. So I think I'm clear with this thing. Now we can answer our question. No stress. So please, it's all classes of IP addresses. So pause the video and copy because I need to clean this. Now we can start the question. Roman 2a, they say, consider the IPv4 address 192.168.8.5. Good. So the IP, consider the IP address J is, identify the class of this IP address and state its network identifier and host identifier. So first part, identifying the class. Now what did I say concerning the class? That you should take the first number of your IP, you convert this number to binary, then you identify the first bit or you identify the first 2 bit or the first 3 bit to determine whether it's class A, B, or C. Now let us convert this to binary. So to convert this to binary, normally you can use your long division. As you know, you do what you're supposed to do, you take your answer, there's no problem. So yeah, I'm going to use my own technique. My own technique is very clear. I just enumerate powers of 2 to the 0, 2 to the 1, 2 to the 2, 2 to the 3, 2 to the 4, 2 to the 5, 2 to the 6, 2 to the 7. You see the base remain the same, just increment powers and make sure that you, because a number here is 8 bits, so I'm supposed to do each power each time, 8 times. Like here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I stop there. No need to go to the power 8 because if you go to 2 to the power 8, you make already 9 bits. Now you evaluate each of them. 2 to the power 0 is what? 1. This is what? 2. This is what? 4. 2 to the power 3 is 8. This is 16. This is what? 32. This is 64. This is 128. Now the idea is what? Is to find combination of numbers that you can sum and obtain what? 192. So the first number here is 128. So I take 128, you on 8. Now 128 plus 64 is exactly 192. So you on 64 also, and automatically you off the rest. When you don't use the other numbers, you just put 0, 0, 0. Good. So it means what? It simply means that 192 base 10 is the same as, so you take your answer like this: 11000000. Good, base 2. Good. So this is how I do it. So yeah, you can do your normal long division, you obtain this same answer. Take note of things like that. Now just identify. Yeah, the first 3 is what? Because just ask yourself, is the first bit starting with 0? No. If the first 2 starting with 10, no. But you're having 110, and 110 here is which class? Class C. I hope you remember this very, very well. And class C, what happened in class C? In class C, the max is what? Slash 24. So these are the information you must know. Now, since you know that it's class C and automatically you know the max, it's helping you to know the network part and the host part. When you know that the network part, you know the host part, now it becomes easy for you to solve that second part. The second part, you say, what is the network identifier, what is the host identifier? It becomes very easy. So let's all do it together. So this is my IP address here. So from here, what happened? This first 3 here, because this is 8 plus 8 plus 8. One number here is 8 bits, so 8, 8, 8, it makes 24. So it means that this first 24 is for the network part, and the last here is what? 24, 32 minus 24 is going to give you 8. So this last one here is what? Is the host part on 8 bit. So now, network identifier. Network identifier is the same thing as asking network address. Are we there? And remember how to obtain network address. You obtain network address by putting zeros to the host part. We did that one in video number 1. Good. So the answer here becomes what? You take the network part 192.168.8, and the host part is only this last one. So you put what? You replace it with 0. So this is your final answer here for the host ID, for the network identifier. Now, the host identifier is so that this one, we never did this one together. So host identifier here simply means we are not concentrating on the network part. No, host identifier simply means put zeros to the network part. It's like saying that ignore the network part and just concentrate on the host part. That be the good. And yes, since we know that all this is the network part and this is the only host number here. So what happened in this case? Remember that to ignore something, you replace it by what? 0, 0, 0. So it means that for the host identifier, it's by the network part that you are replacing with 0, and you leave the host part like that. So you have what? You have 0.0.0.what? Good. Meanwhile, you replace this first man here, 8 bit with 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 8 zeros, and 8 zeros in decimal is what? 0. The second group, 0. The third group, 0. The last is the host, that's why I put it like that. So this is giving us what? The host identifier. I think everything is clear. Good. Next time they can say network ID, host ID. So these are the different names they usually use there. The last question here, they say, explain the difference between MAC address and IP address. So please, what I want you to know between these two is that, let me just write it here. This is MAC, this is IP. The first thing is that note that IP address is what we call physical. The first thing here is note that MAC address is also known as physical address, and this one is called logical address. Why is that MAC is called physical address and this one is called logical address? Simply because this MAC address is given by the manufacturer. The physical address is assigned by the manufacturer and it is integrated in the network interface card. So a MAC address is a physical address assigned by the manufacturer, integrated to a network interface card, or you just say assigned to a network interface card. That enable communication in a local area network. Let me just say it like that to simplify things, even though there are so many things behind that, you see. But just know that generally when you are drawing your star topology like this, you draw your star topology. This central device here, when we have a switch here, what happens with the switch? When the switch receives a message, he sends it to the destination device without sending it to all the other devices. Do you think it's magic? No. He's using what? The MAC address to identify what? Each device is here. So that from there he knows where he's supposed to send. Good. So and generally a switch operates where? In a local area network. So that's why when I'm saying local area network down here, just to simplify your understanding about MAC addresses. Good. So when you move into another level in computer network, there are certain things you understand here. So a MAC address is a physical address assigned by the manufacturer, integrated in a network interface card that enable communication in a local area network. Whereas logical address here, we call it logical because it's not assigned by a manufacturer, no. And the next thing I want you to know is that when they say assigned by a manufacturer, integrated in a network interface card, it simply means what? You need to know what's a network interface card. This is the first thing. A network interface card, in fact, is just a component that enables any device to connect to a network. Like if you have your computer today, if you are able to connect to a network, it can be internet or any network, it simply means that your device has what? A network interface card. Your network interface card now can be wireless or wired. Wireless simply means that you can connect to a network without any cable. Wired means what? That you need to plug internet cable to your computer before you connect to a network or internet. In fact, internet is a type of network. Take note of that. Now, so this is what happened. So it simply means what? A network interface card is unique to a computer. So if you're in Cameroon, you have a MAC address for your computer. Even if you go to China, Canada, you still have in any other country, your MAC address does not change because it is integrated in your network interface card. Good. So the one thing you need to know also about MAC address is that MAC address is fixed. It does not change. Even though, yeah, with this security issue, we can really change and manage things a lot, but we are studying what is normal. Take note of things like that. Now, so logical IP address. An IP address is a logical address assigned to a computer in a network by a network administrator. You see, so here it's not assigned by the manufacturer. This one is assigned. So this one is not assigned by the manufacturer directly, but it's assigned by an administrator. Meaning what? It can change. Like today, I'm a network administrator. I can create my network and assign network addresses to computers in my own network. Another network administrator can do so for his own network. Are we there? So network address, IP addresses are not fixed. And IP addresses enable what? Communication in a network, any network, whether it's internet, local area, in fact, any network. So I think the differences between the two are clear. Logical address assigned by administrator to identify PCs or just to identify computers in a network. MAC address a physical address assigned by manufacturer integrated to network interface card that enable communication only in LAN. Good. Normally we say at layer 2 of the OD model, but I don't want to enter in details here. So fine. So I think we are ending here. So any question, just drop a comment. I've covered everything concerning computer, not really everything, but at least 80% of what you need to know concerning computer network. And all what we did here concerning computer science students. The ICT student, their basic thing, they're just asking definition of this local area network, router, switch. No, computer science student, these are the type of things that people are doing. So make sure that you have watched video number 1, 2, and before concluding with this one, so that at least you master everything from zero. I'm sure 100% that no question in your own year will be more than you. So thank you. If you have enjoyed the video, leave a comment. Any question or confusion, just leave a comment. I will reply to you. If you are worried it's too long, we'll discuss through WhatsApp directly. Good. So thank you and see you in another tutorial. Bye bye.